Imagine this. You're walking down a dark street in Chicago, late 1800s. Gas lamps flicker. The city hums with new life. Factories, railroads, money. But hidden in the shadows, a man is hunting. A man who smiles politely, offers you a warm handshake, and then leads you straight into his trap. His neighbors called him charming. His victims never got the chance to call him anything at all. This isn't just the story of murder. It's the story of America's first celebrity killer, a man who turned death into spectacle and built a house so terrifying it would later be known as the Murder Castle. Tonight, we're diving into the untold story of H.H. Holmes, the man many still call America's most infamous serial killer. His real name was Herman Webster Mudgett, born in 1861 in New Hampshire, in what looked like a respectable family. But even as a boy, Holmes was different. He was fascinated by death. Local children whispered that he once trapped animals just to dissect them. He was bullied relentlessly, until he discovered that fear could be more powerful than friendship. By the time he reached medical school, he wasn't just studying anatomy, he was profiting from it. He stole corpses, faked their identities, and cashed in insurance policies. A scheme so bold, it was almost genius. Almost. But greed wasn't his only addiction. He had something darker brewing inside him. A hunger for control, for manipulation, for watching life slip away in the palm of his hand. When he moved to Chicago in 1886, America was booming. The city was exploding with new opportunities, and Holmes saw the perfect hunting ground. Holmes bought a property in the Inglewood neighborhood and began constructing what appeared to be a hotel, but this was no ordinary hotel. Locals would later call it the Castle, a massive, confusing labyrinth with staircases that led nowhere, doors that opened into brick walls, and rooms designed for one purpose only: death. There were soundproof chambers, gas lines hidden inside walls, trapdoors, chutes that dropped straight to the basement, and in that basement, a nightmare workshop. Acid vats, quicklime pits, even a stretching rack, as if medieval torture had found its way into the heart of modern Chicago. Holmes employed and fired multiple contractors, so no one truly understood the full design. Only he knew the twisted blueprint. To outsiders, it was just a hotel. To his victims, it was the last place they'd ever see. And when the 1893 World's Fair came to Chicago, millions of visitors poured into the city. Holmes opened his hotel right on time. It was like dangling bait in front of an endless stream of unsuspecting prey. Holmes didn't kill at random. He lured, he seduced, he deceived. Women looking for jobs, travelers searching for a cheap stay, even business partners who thought they'd struck gold with this charming doctor. One by one, they vanished. Some suffocated in gas-filled rooms. Others were locked inside soundproof vaults until their screams fell silent. Bodies slid down greased chutes to the basement, where Holmes stripped them of flesh, sold skeletons to medical schools, or destroyed the evidence in vats of acid. Even children weren't safe. He promised one woman he would care for her kids, and then he murdered them without hesitation. The press later struggled to put a number on his crimes. Some said 9 confirmed deaths. Others whispered of over 200. The truth? Buried under layers of lies, bones, and Chicago soil. For years, Holmes evaded suspicion. His charm worked like a shield. He skipped town whenever things got risky. He married multiple women, often at the same time, never fully revealing who he truly was. But eventually, greed caught up with him. An insurance scam gone wrong drew investigators to his trail. Authorities began digging into his finances, his business deals, and finally, his hotel. What they uncovered shocked the nation. Newspaper headlines screamed of the Murder Castle. Reporters described rooms of horror, basements filled with bones, hallways like a funhouse built by the devil himself. Holmes was arrested in 1894, tried and found guilty. But even in prison, he spun tales, twisting the truth, confessing to crimes, then denying them, then boasting of new ones. It was impossible to separate fact from fiction. Holmes himself once said he was born with the devil inside him. Maybe that was the only truth he ever told. On May 7, 1896, Holmes was executed by hanging in Philadelphia. But even in death, he left behind mystery. Witnesses swore his neck didn't snap right away, that he dangled for nearly 20 minutes before the devil inside finally gave up. To this day, his body count is debated. Was it 9, 27, or closer to 200, as some historians fear? We may never know. What we do know is that Holmes' story became legend. He was America's first modern serial killer, the dark figure who showed the world that beneath progress and prosperity, horror could still thrive. His castle was torn down, his name turned into myth, but his shadow still lingers. Every time we hear about a charming face hiding a monstrous secret, we're reminded of H. Holmes, the man who built a house of death and invited the world inside. Evil doesn't always come with fangs or claws. Sometimes it comes wearing a smile, a handshake, and a room key. That was the untold story of America's most infamous serial killer. If you want more deep dives into the darkest corners of history, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because the next story might just keep you up tonight.